Alright, hello everybody. Once again, we are back for the Week 5 recap of the second season of the VHDL. Coming at you with a Praetor versus Jack match everyone's been looking forward to. Not sure if we've seen these two battle on camera yet ever, so quite exciting. Absolutely, Tracy. So we're looking at this thing, and we see that we have an ice cube with an adrenaline orb for the Lando. Unfortunately, the Lando is not there, and we've got Mental Herb Vikavolt as well as adrenaline orb also on the Phalanx to get the Defiant and Adrenaline Orb boost, as well as a clear Amulet Jirachi. Unfortunately, it would seem like all these techs, this is a common thing that happens sometimes when you tunnel in on, and that's not the only thing. We'll see tunnel vision on this week, as if you focus all your chips on one thing and that thing doesn't come, then it kind of, leaves you sitting in the dirt, wondering, what did I do? And so here we go, a Praetor versus Jack. We have sped up these battles. Not gonna just try to save time on our end from editing. We did render the footage, so hopefully we will be able to see what's going on. So far, seems alright. They're gonna switch out the Jirachi on the Typhlosion Asui. Gonna go for a nice big eruption there. Eruption pretty free into a Praetor's team, all those ice types. And Jack made the wise decision just to lead off with it. Unclear if it's Scarf at this point, but even a Scarf set should be outsped by this nice and powerful Titan. Gonna Terra Dragon on the potential eruption, just in case Jack tried to stay in. Jack's smart enough to suspect the Terra and switch out, going to Frisk and see that they do indeed have a Citrus Berry. And gonna get the nice big belly drum off here, so... Praetor's not looking too bad here. They've got their Citrus Belly Drum and their +6, so at this point, ain't too shabby. They're going to knock off their item. No Focus Sash, thankfully, on the fur. It was indeed Heavy Duty Boots to try to tidy up. They send out Christmas. It's going to get its booster energy, and it does need booster energy speed, so we're going to find out whether or not this thing is faster here. Probably best to go for the Earthquake here. Praetor's probably doing some damage calcs just to make sure that he's faster. And indeed he is not, so he is going to die there, unfortunately. In his title, he said he was Terra Steel. And Terra Steel would have definitely helped him out there. But he already terrored and committed to the Terra Dragon, so... Going to set up these stick webs as Jack reveals Aurora Veil. That's a cool, interesting set that he could have done with the Chilly Reception. But suspecting that they would set up the snow, it would be much easier for this bundle to be able to set up the Aurora Veil now, and that's what it's done. So, sitting in a very good position here. Got the Hydro Pump off to take out their Pokemon there, as Jirachi's going to come out. This bundle is definitely faster than them, so they are unable to flinch them. So the best thing they can hope for is try to paralyze it with Body Slam and then be faster after. And they are not. And they hit yet another Hydro Pump. So that's 3 Hydro Pumps in a row that has just annihilated this Jirachi. As the snow does stop, but I believe the Veil is still up. As they send out Dirty Train, the Phalanx, in order to try and potentially knock this thing out with close combat. You have to, as they land another Hydro Pump, but it just flat out knocks out this Phalanx. Not in a very good position. The Aurora Veil finally wears off, but poor Praetor is left with only one Pokemon, and Ice Cube's ability is going to be absolutely useless in the face of this this Iron Bundle, because it can hit with a special attack and just override it. And it would seem as though he's a Praetor contemplating just forfeiting there, as they hit yet another Hydro Pump. I believe that's at least 5 in a row now. As he's going to try to belly drum and hits all of them. Hits all the Hydro Bumps. Just this Iron Bundle would appear to have no guard. But that's a 5-0 victory for JustWeavile. As now we are into a Biradu versus Almond. And we see we got the Wo-Chin with the lefties. We've got Clear Amulet, Barrascuda for a potential Intimidate Salamence. Didn't bring Salamence at all, in fact. They do have Girder. Always love to see the Girder. As we've got Choppleberry King Gambit. That's fairly bring. Also Clear Amulet Mixerdo. So seems like a lot of people are doubling down on expecting one Pokemon, and that Pokemon didn't show up at all. So on Almond's side, we do have Pokemon like the Ogerpon. We've also got the Golden Go. Webs could be pretty cool. Although Clear Amulet, I'm assuming that would have also prevent Sticky Webs, so at least kind of doubles up as preventing Intimidate and Webs, I would assume. is how that would work. Almond's going to lead off with the Ogerpon, get the Drizzle up on Biradu's side with the Pelipper, and he's wondering what he's going to do. Not a whole lot of switch into this. 100% accurate Rock-type move, and he's almost certainly going to outspeed him. 110 base speed, but because of the berry, it does weaken it, so good bring on Biradu's part, as he's wondering what he's going to bring into this thing. The Iron Moth could speed tie. The Barraskewda should easily outspeed it, though, but you don't want to risk a spiky shield. Gonna bring out Mixerdo, be able to resist their rock-type attack. This thing could have play rough. Doesn't switch out into the Rotom Wash, and the super effective rain-boosted liquidation almost takes out Rotom, but just not quite. Sometimes you forget, even though sometimes these Rotom Heats usually run offensive, it still has the same base defenses as Rotom Wash, which is infamously very bulky, so that might have had some defense in order to live a hit, just barely live that liquidation. But Biradu's still in a decent position here, except the Rabombi comes in to be able to Moonblast. They're going to eat that up with their Wo-Chien, as now he's going to probably try to maybe get up a Leech Seed, or, yep, there's the Terra Poison into the Leech Seed, so going to easily resist their Moonblast. Now it goes with the U-turn. Good play on Almond's part, suspecting a Terra, as this is one of the Terra captains, and goes for the Leech Seed into the Grafaiai here, so healing up Wo-Chien plenty. Gonna protect just to get some more turns. So this is, as you can see, this is why the previous battle was at 2x speed. This one's at 4x speed, but seems like our processors are still able to keep up with this this intense speed. So we're able to see what's going on as we commentate. So knock off those heavy-duty boots, as does manage to taunt the Wo-Chien. But in that time, because all that knockoff Leech Seed chip, the Grafaiai is gone. So Rabombi comes in. Wo-Chien is at full. Biradu's team is looking pretty good here. They can afford to knock off here. That extra sensory does absolutely nothing to this Wo-Chien, because of its absolutely monstrous SPDF stat. Wondering what they're going to do here. They do get up webs, so we will indeed get to see. I'm assuming the Clear Amulet will protect them, right? Surely it protects them. So they're wondering if they should go out into Kachow. I wouldn't bring in one of your heavy hitters that easily, so continue to get some leftovers recovery. They're now going to bring in the King Gambit. Let's get the... Ooh, that's the thing, though. That's what you'll love to see about King Gambit. Because of the webs, it does get the free Defiant boost. And it's already slow, so even better than a Bisharp under webs. So going to go for the Iron Head here. And something is going to take a +2 Iron Head, and it's not going to like it. This Ogerpon is absolutely dead. That is super effective. So Almond sacked off Ogerpon. Brings in Girder, which is fair, you know. But keep in mind, Biradu has the Chople, so they should be able to live a hit, like a Drain Punch. I'm not sure if they could live a close combat, but they could definitely live a Drain Punch, as they do switch out into the Pelipper just to keep make sure that their King Gambit's healthy, which is fair, you know. As Pelipper was already chipped, so you don't mind getting chip on this, but you want to keep the King Gambit full. As bulk up into the Girder. Gonna try to probably take this thing out with maybe a Scale Sharp, or well, I guess they might switch out. They're really contemplating their moves here, wondering what they're going to do. They make the safe play, go into Lettuce the Wo-Chien, as that takes absolutely nothing from this. The Drain Punch goes to the Leech Seed on the knockoff, so doesn't have its leftovers anymore, but it still has the Leech Seed. So good to knock them off. Could have gotten rid of the Violet, but they get rid of the leftovers on the Golden Ghost, so perhaps a substitute Nasty Plot set that we're seeing here. So they're wondering what they want to do here. They'll want to let this Golden Ghost set it free. Foul play, depending on, you know, maybe their timid zero attack IVs might not do as much. They go for the knockoff, does absolutely nothing to this thing. Wo-Chien does not have the best offensive stats. So Wo-Chien's paralyzed at this point. They do go into the King Gambit. Good play to get the Defiant boost. This thing also gets Thunder Wave now and gets the full pair on the first turn immediately. Gonna switch out into Rabombi. That's another full pair 2 times in a row. A third one on the Sucker Punch. We're going to go for it a 4th time and finally takes that Rabombi with a crit. So all that unnecessary damage this thing took, they're definitely going to want to switch out here. It could potentially live a Drain Punch, but it's uncertain. As they're going to switch out into Golden Go. And they're wondering what they're going to bring on this thing. It's paralyzed their entire team, so yeah, for sure, bring out this thing on a potential Thunder Wave. So the Golden Go can't Thunder Wave it. The Mixerdo's faster than them. If taking out the Rodent Heat, unclear if they have any more Earthquake switches. They actually end up going for the Sword Stance into the Earthquake to guarantee take this thing out in one hit. And in comes Girder, and +2, even though behind an Novile. Will this Earthquake kill? And it will not, in fact. That is a bulky Girder. Very strong on the Fizz-Def side. But 2 of them will manage to take it out. So no Ice Punch, apparently, on the Girder. And that is going to be GG's to Biradu and Almond. Next up, we have Scorpion versus emeraldminer. Big rivalry match here. As we notice 2 Mirror Orbs once again doubling down on a potential Shell Smash or Choreo setup. So they're going to lead off with Incursion right off the bat to get the terrain up immediately. Interesting play there from emeraldminer. Kind of uncertain how he wants to lead into this. Notice he does not have Stealth Rocks. No Heat Train here, as Scorpion has mons like Zamazenta and Swala. This might be the first time bringing Swala. Very interesting. We also see, of course, big TORTERRA as well as Greninja with Cleavor. So Cleavor could potentially lead off here, get up some nice rocks on their side. They also have Goodra to switch into. Well, I mean, it could probably switch into the Hoopa, but we could take a potential Moonblast from Iron Val, but then the close combat after will probably kill it. So, taking all their time just to lock in their choices, make sure they've got everything right. And here we go, emeraldminer versus Scorpion. So they're going to lead off with Tremor, the the TORTERRA right off the bat, as Incursion is going to get that electric terrain. And emeraldminer is wondering what they're going to do here. And seems like they really want to bring in this Hoopa here on this potential Shell Smash right off the bat. And they're questioning it, and they're going to end up doing it. So probably should put this part 4 times. Scorpion's also really thinking about their move here. Probably wondering if they should go for the ground type move immediately or the Shell Smash, or what they're going to do. And bring out Canizaro, and Scorpion predicts correctly and immediately takes out this Hoopa. 60 base defenses is not going to cut it for this base 120 attack. And the Hoopa just goes down immediately. So, emeraldminer already down him on. Not a very good position here. And they send out the Toad Scroll, and they seem to be hovering over this taunt. Obviously forgetting the fact that the Mycelium Might will make them go second, as the Shell Smash goes off on Scorpion's side. So they are now fully set up, and this taunt comes off all too late for emeraldminer, as he is not in a very good position here. And he's wondering what the world he's going to do here. So does not really have too many switch-ins to this thing. This is a Terra Captain, so it could potentially have some coverage from Mandibuzz, which otherwise pretty much wall it. Gonna go for a Spike here, actually. Even more of a useless move, as reveals that they go for the 4 times hit. So unsure if this is loaded dice. It could appear that it might be. Suspecting that it is loaded dice, emeraldminer is going to go out into the Lucha to get the defense boost. Immune to the ground type move, but forcing a Terra probably. And so suspecting that this thing will likely Terra on this turn to hit this thing super effectively. They're suspecting that, or it could also Terra in order to resist the acrobatics as well. So going off of that, he's going to close combat into Scorpion's Terra here. As we can see, it is Terra Ice for Big Bad Mandibuzz and Hawlucha. So because of the Unburden, it is going to be first, but it is not loaded dice. It is, in fact, Focus Show. Scorpion with the lead Focus Shell Smash setup, as immediately takes out one of their biggest threats in Hawlucha. So emeraldminer not in a very good position. They're down 3 Pokemon. Just a few turns into this game. They're going to bring out the Iron Valiant. And they should be faster than this thing after the speed boost, but they're not going to take any chances. They're going to go for the Vacuum Wave, take out this TORTERRA that is just taking out 3 of their Pokemon at this point. And it's Iron Valiant versus the world, essentially, because all they have left is Incursion and Mandibuzz. Not very good for them, losing a lot of their Pokemon right off the rip. As Scorpion is probably feeling pretty good about himself, if we're being honest, as he sends in Reptile, the Goodra. Now, because this thing came hard in on, came in off of Iron Valiant, probably suspected this thing is Choppel. emeraldminer is not going to scout forward at all. He's going to go right for the close combat. Probably already feeling pretty bad from being 3 Pokemon down. He's just going to go for the close combat. Gets the Gooey as well, as now this Flash Cannon will easily take out this Iron Valiant. Also, not known for its best Spadef. That crit, in all likelihood, did not matter at all, as we do see the Mandibuzz come out here. As just going to go for a knockoff at this point. The battle is not looking too good for emeraldminer. Going to go for the terrain boosted Thunderbolt. Actually, with the Gooey, the Goodra is now faster than the Mandibuzz. Electricity's gone. Going to get set back up again with Lieutenant Surge. But this Pincursion can't do absolutely nothing here. As the last fifth of this battle, basically, this is the longest part of the battle, honestly, is just the inevitable waiting for this Pincursion to go down. They send out the Swalot because it hasn't really come out yet. Hits up some T-Spikes for whatever's going to switch in. As now his last feeble attempts, he's going to try to Scald in order to get this thing. You do see the poison on the Pincursion. Going to go for the Scald there. Does not get the burn. Has some leftovers recovery as well. Just an exercise in futility here, waiting for this Pincursion to die, as the Earthquake is not even a 2 KO because this is max HP, max defense Pincursion. As we do see the leftovers. And continuing to get poisoned, getting whittled bit by bit. The Earthquake, after a big crit, after the poison, that should easily finally take out this Pincursion. As the Swalot gets its first kill of the season, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, with a nice poison kill there. So emeraldminer goes down to Scorpion, big 5-0. That is huge for playoffs implications, as now emeraldminer is going to have to try to dig his way back out of that big loss there. But here we have Stefan versus H.I.M. A match I've been wanting to see, quite frankly, for a long time. As we've got Dragapult and Infernape, big mixed attackers, versus Pokemon like Meloetta, which is Choice Scarf. We got Booster. We have Booster Roaring Moon paired with the Torkoal, as well as Rillaboom and a nice big Lucario. So this will be an interesting battle. They both got Pokemon on either side that could take each other out. You know, you've got the Lucario for Pokemon like the Magnezone and the Clef, but at the same time, we also have Pokemon like Dragapult and Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck helps deal with the kind of Sylveon, Dragapult. If it's faster, which after a speed boost, probably not the more, but it could be a Scarf set, you know? It'll help deal with that Roaring Moon. So we've got Meloetta immediately going to go for the Ground Terra Blast here versus this Magnezone. We'll see if they suspect it. If they go for, let's say, a potential Choice Scarf Volt Switch on this Terra Ground, then they're going to be stuck, and they're going to be immediately O-code if they're not sturdy. So we'll find out right now. They have not switched. They have not switched, so they are faster. Oh, that's right. This is a Choice Scarf. Meloetta, is it not? So it goes for the sturdy. And it goes for the Volt Switch, and they are not going to do anything. So they can either choose to sack off their Magnezone here, or they can try to switch out and bring something else in. So we'll see what they want to do here. And nope, they're just going to sack off the Magnezone. Yeah, don't really have a whole lot of switch-ins to ground types on H.I.M's team, unfortunately. So Magnezone's gone. All they have left is Dragapult, Clef, Infernape, Alolan Muck, and Sandslash. Yeah. Terra-type ground hits very well into H.I.M's team, so Stefan's feeling pretty good. He's wanting to see what H.I.M's going to want to bring out here. If I was them, I might go Dragapult, just to try to maybe get off a big U-turn ship and weaken them. Although, if they're not Scarf, then this Meloetta is going to outspeed them. So they end up bringing out Raw Sewage, interestingly enough. So Stefan is kind of confused. He's going to go for the Terra Blast Ground, see how much this does. Probably about a 2 KO. As, yep, right about 50%. Goes for the knockoff, though. Huge chip, so H.I.M knew he'd probably be able to live the hit. Tried to get a poison touch off, potentially. That Black Sludge might keep him out of range, but I don't think he can really hit anything else. And now he's having to risk either severely weakening his Muck, probably losing it after 2 more Terra Blast, or bringing something else in to take more chip. Stefan has a great position here still. Using the power of Meloetta. Ends up going for another Terra Blast. Is it a roll? Can it kill? Nope. It's about the same roll as last time. Does get the poison touch this time though, so that means that Meloetta now after 2 turns will be dead. So they could potentially switch out Raw Sewage or Protect if they have it, bring something else in, and yeah, Stefan's gonna try to catch something that might want to switch in with a T-Bolt. Not sure what honestly would want to switch into a T-Bolt on our team. Maybe they tried to go for no, I don't know. So they end up fainting there, as down goes the Meloetta. So, Alolan Muck and Magnezone are now gone from their team. Meloetta did a good amount of work, as they're going to bring out Sylveon, perhaps expecting a potential Dragapult to U-turn out, so they can threaten that with the Mystica Sylveon, as they bring out Ectoplasm, which is indeed the Dragapult. So, Stefan is making very good plays here. Going to protect to Scout. This could be dangerous if they try to go for a Dragon Dance, but if H.I.M chooses to substitute, they will simply ignore it with the Hyper Voice. They're going to end up switching out into Tinkerbell here, actually. So they protect just to Scout. They can go for a Hyper Voice now if they want to, or they can switch out into something else. Hyper Voice to get off some chip, or maybe Baton Pass. They do go for the Hyper Voice. Probably going to expect a Stealth Rock here from the Clefable. This is usually their rocker. So they end up just going for the Moonblast. It's absolutely nothing. So Sylveon will win this war 1v1. Also reveals leftovers. No items shown on the Clef so far, so perhaps unaware, heavy duty boots, or maybe a Rocky helmet. So going to switch out into Lucario. If I had to say, I would expect a Rocky helmet with all these physical attackers. So gonna go for the Wish here, as we do go for. I didn't quite catch that. I'll be honest. It was too fast for my eyes. I'm assuming it was a Meteor match, as they're gonna go on to Super Saiyan 3. It was a Meteor Mash. Because of its natural defenses, it is going to tank that. And with the Wish, it's back up to full. So, bad position here for Lucario. If they stay in, they are likely going to die to the oncoming Earthquake. So, they're going to send out Rillaboom to take the Earthquake. Great play. Weakens their Ground-type moves. Goes for a Rapid Spin, actually, to get the speed boost. So, this thing is very fast. Probably still does not have anything to touch. Ooh, but we do get the Terra. That's right. Sandslash is one of H.I.M's Terra's captains, and it is indeed Terra Fairy. So we'll see what they want to go for. They go for the Leech Life, actually. Didn't even know it got it. So you love to see when you learn things in draft like this, like Leech Life Sandslash. So because of that speed boost, the Gorillas might actually outspeed Super Saiyan 3 here now. And let's see if we get the kill, and it does, just barely. So. Yeah, the left, was it leftovers? No. Grassy terrain helping out, but not quite enough to keep this Sandslash alive. As we do see these Sylveon want to come in. Great switch here into Ectoplasm. And let's see what they want to go. They do go for the substitute. This is dangerous here, as Stefan is in a great position with the ability to just bypass the substitute if they choose to go for a Dragon Dance or Stain or something like that. I don't think this Ectoplasm have any hit to Coco this thing. They go for the Dragon Dance, but the Hyper Voice is going to come out from the Sylveon and just bypass the substitute and immediately take it out. So you live and you learn every day, folks. So good to know if you didn't know already about sound-based moves and substitutes. Happens to the best of us, though. So sends out Zuko. Potentially threaten this thing with a Flare Blitz, perhaps Choice Banded. I'm not even sure if that would kill, though. They would go for the Fake Out, so likely not Banded. Perhaps Life Orb. They go for the Fire Punch, actually, Iron Fist boosted to try to avoid recoil, but that's just not going to do enough damage. You really could use a Flare Blitz here, but the crit almost takes out the Sylveon, as 2 Hyper Voices will take out Infernape, as I believe the only well, how much does he have left? He has... Is Muckalola still alive? They are in a Tinkerbell, as that appears to be their only Pokemon left. They're going to switch out here. Even though the Sylveon could probably 1v1 it, they're not going to deal with any Wish Protect nonsense. They're going to go for the Moonblast. That's quite a bit, actually, to Lucario, as Lucario should be able to finish this off with a Meteor Mash as long as it hits. And, yep, goes the Meteor Mash, lands, and does take out the Clef. It wasn't indeed revealed to be Rocky Helmet, but that is going to do it for Stefan with a huge 5-0 victory. Another big victory, as now we are in with Capt B-Nard versus Icy Dude. So, looking at B-Nard's team, they have a Palafin, which goes in very hard versus Icy Dude's team with 3 Pokemon weak to ground, 2 of them being pretty big walls. But the key thing to keep in mind is they have the Toxapex, which can pretty much wall this Palafin to infinity and beyond. But B-Nard suspected, obviously, he didn't want to get walled, so he did bring Zen Headbutt for that. However, because it's banded, it means that you're going to get locked in, and when you're facing a Steel type and 2 Dark types, being locked into Zen Headbutt is not necessarily the best thing. But aside from that, we also have screens on B-Nard's side, and Icy Dude could potentially go in here with an Annihilate at some point. We do see the Great Wall is going to lead. Yep, these 2 Pokemon are pretty much going to be the pivotal Pokemon of this match. If either one of them can take out the other, then that's going to be a huge, I'm sorry. It's going to give their team a big advantage, I want to say. So, get Spikes up immediately. So, great for Icy Dude. Oh, wait, not Spikes, right? Was that T-Spikes? No, he doesn't get Spikes. If Toxapex got Spikes, that would be amazing. Goes for Earthquake into Donphan. Donphan has a good amount of defense, so it's not going to take too much, but this is an opportunity for him to get up some Stealth Rocks. If he wants to Rapid Spin, it's going to give further stamina to the Mudsdale. Goes to the Knockoff, continues to boost his defense, and that is in range of another Earthquake. Goes to the Rapid Spin, gives him even more defense, and takes him out with an Earthquake. So, down goes the Donphan, although he still does have a Chi-Yu, which could easily take this thing out. And yep, indeed we do see the Chi-Yu to blast through Bullseye's lower Spadeffier. As B-Nard's wondering what he's going to do. He does have the Assault Vest, Gudra, who's going to come in, take those T-Spikes, and his poison actually dodges a Fire Blast, so it gets a bit of a lucky break, but it probably would have eaten that up either way with its Assault Vest, of course. So, warning what they're going to want to do here. B-Nard always likes to consider all of his options in terms of his moves and figure out the best one. Go for the Thunderbolt into the Tinglu, and that is not in fact the play. If he'd gone for perhaps a Scald there, tried to fish for a burn, might have been the best play. But either way, he's going to switch out into Grimmsnarl as they go for the Stealth Rocks. And so now they have Stealth Rocks and T-Spikes mounting up on Captain B-Nard's side. And I don't believe we have a Glamora that can spin away those hazards, unfortunately. So back in comes Mudsdale. Once again, T-Spikes are just absolutely murdering Captain B-Nard's team. We've seen this a couple times before. We've also seen this versus Scorpion. I'm trying to remember if this happened in a previous match with B-Nard, but T-Spikes have been absolutely brutal this season. Goes for the close combat into the Annihilate. So, going to go for a Roar on a potential bulk up, but does not get that play right. Goes for the close combat right out the rip. Kilowattrel is a decent switch in. It is going to take Stealth Rocks, but at least it won't get poisoned. So, again, you have to be mindful also that when that Ogerpon comes in, it's also going to take Stealth Rocks as well. Stealth Rocks and T-Spikes very good into his team. Going to Terra Water, contemplating which move he wants to lock himself into. Again, a lot of these choice items are not good because, well, you know, they make him very strong. We'll see how much this Terra Blast Water does to this Tinkaton. Almost, but not quite a KO. But the thing about Icy Dude's team, they love bulky Mons, and so they can switch in and out. They've got a regen Mon as well, so locking yourself into a move, as good as it is to try to break their Mons, you end up having to switch out, which ends up making more Pokemon take Stealth Rocks and T-Spikes damage over time, as we do see the Terra Dragon on the Tinkaton there to resist the Terra Blast, and it does now mean that it also resists Ivy Cudgel, so not a great position for B-Nard here either. He was hoping perhaps he could kill this thing with an Ivy Cudgel, but now that it resists its hit, it's not going to do that much. As sends out Chi-Yu, actually. Goes to the Ivy Cudgel anyway. Thought he was probably suspecting a switch out for B-Nard, so Icy Dude went into the Chi-Yu to catch something, but it ended up staying in. But this is fine either way, because apparently this is a Scarf Chi-Yu, who's easily going to be able to take this thing out and outspeed it. So, now we have Grimmsnarl. Probably needs to get up some screens at some point. Now would be a great time for some screens to try to resist some of these hits coming out from this Chi-Yu. As Pex is now in, as we do now see a light screen. That's great. Gets up another layer of T-Spike. So I think anything that hasn't taken it. So that now means that the Palafin, instead of being regularly poisoned, will now be badly poisoned. Which is probably best case scenario for him, because that would prevent the Palafin from necessarily trying to sweep at the end, because it's going to take more and more damage over time. So, phenomenal T-Spikes plays by Icy Dude, as we now see the Rage Fist come off into the Draco. Going to strengthen the Rage Fist from further on, as B-Nard is just not in a very good position here, unfortunately. Probably just going to try to let this thing die and bring out... does manage to live, even with the boosted Rage Fist, but that does not mean that the Captain goes down. Thankfully, those Reflects are coming through for him to keep his Goodra alive, as he's wondering if he's going to be able to bring out the Palafin or the Kilowatch. He's going to bring out Palafin now. It's going to be badly poisoned, as you can see. Take some Rocks Chip. But, as we can see, that Toxapex is still alive. And, he's got some screens, but he's also got a lot of hazards. And he's wondering if he should go for the Zen Headbutt or the Flip Turn or a Jet Punch. He does go for the Zen Headbutt. Good play here on B-Nard's part, trying to get damage. Huge damage with a crit onto the Pex. However, the thing is, he's got 3 switch-ins to the Zen Headbutt. And B-Nard knows that, though. He knows that. So he's probably going to want to switch out here, as indeed he is, to try to catch a potential Chi-Yu or a Ting-Lu, which this thing could do pretty well into. So, it's that play right. Chi-Yu comes out, but we have seen this Chi-Yu is Scarf, which means that this Chi-Yu is going to be able to outspeed them. The good thing about Kilowatt Terra Watering is, at least, it's not taking 25% every time. It's only taking 12.5%, so it hasn't taken as much chip as it should have. Switches out in Grimmsnarl, knowing that this thing's Scarf, but Icy Dude also seems to know that, so Icy Dude is playing this very well as well. Goes for the Sucker Punch, try to get some chip on this thing, goes for the Gigaton Hammer, and is easily going to take out that Grimmsnarl. The Reflect does wear off it. They did get a crit, keep in mind. Not sure if that mattered or not, but, you know. Going to try to go for a Terra Blast here onto this thing. Catch something coming in. But no, it is going to... Well, also, they had to kind of be locked in. They needed to be locked into Terra Blast. They did get rid of their Choice Specs, though. So that's good. At least they can switch up moves. But I think it's too late for this Kilowattrel, as now it is gone. As brings it Palafin versus the World. And Great Wall can unfortunately just easily switch out here into a Ting-Lu. Yep, there's the Ting-Lu. They can take out the... Hey, they took out the Ting-Lu with a Jet Punch. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's the power of Banded Palafin. But this thing is Rocky Helmet. And once again, another lesson in futility here, as the Recover is going to come off, and the Badly Poison with the another round of Rocky Helmet should easily take out this Palafin. So, Icy Dude managed to wall yet another opponent to death over there. But good plays by them. They played that very well. B-Nard probably just needed a Glamora to help deal with those T-Spikes. So, here we have Raymon versus DaBest. This is a match that might otherwise be lost to history. However, we did manage to save the footage and archive it for later use, which we're going to use now. So this YouTube video will likely be the only source publicly for this battle. So we're glad we can have things like this happen. So we do see the standard lead Hisuian Zoroark from the best side. Raymon knows that, as he's going to lead off with Scarf as Elf, and easily is going to be able to Shadow Ball them. Oh, not Shadow, knock them off rather. They got Shadow Balled. And knock them off to take out the Hisuian Zoroark. So, we see a Scarf Ditto come into play here, with Azelf knocks him out, as they're going to withdraw Gooey out into something else. Raymon has Zapdos here, going to go for the Hurricane, and it misses actually, so it gets a nice little Poison activated on their Gliscor, and Raymon's wondering, well, what am I going to do now? I missed my Hurricane. I really would have liked to hit that. So, they're going to go for it again. And see how much they can do. And does a massive amount of chip. And actually goes for the Earthquake there. Not sure why that was. So this Zapdos is still at full. He's actually going to switch out here. Not sure what DaBest is going to go for. Maybe some hazards or something like that. Actually, yeah, they go for a Protect. Safe play. Good play there. So, going to go for a U-turn. If DaBest wants to go for hazards or something. Nope, they're just going to switch out into Dracia. So, brings in the Delphox, and it's going to U-turn out. And, yeah, the Choice Specs Hurricane, man, did a huge amount to that Gliscor, as Dougie is going to come in and trap this thing. So, Delphox is a Terra Captain, so Raymon makes a good play here of trying to scout and see what they are. And they are indeed Terra Blast Grass, so that means that this Dougie won't be able to not just knock it out with an Earthquake. They're going to go for the flamethrower. So we'll see if they want to switch out of. They are going to Terrablast Ice, though. They came prepared for something like this, so they will be able to hit it super effectively. Big play for Raymon here. We'll see if this is able to actually knock out the Delphox in one hit, though, as it is indeed with the... Did he get up Stealth Rocks? No, he got off a U-turn, that's right. U-turn ship plus Terrablast Ice easily going to be able to take out this Delphox. As, sorry, we are getting a little bit of... we recorded this over Twitch, so it doesn't have the best, sometimes it likes to spaz out, it would seem. As they're contemplating which Pokemon they're going to want to bring in here. As, this Fortress might be the one to get up the hazards. If not the Gliscor, surely somebody's going to get up some hazards, I would hope so. As, yep, there's the Stealth Rocks. This Corv is going to be able to defog them out, so we'll see what they want to do. Yep, there's the defog. We'll see if maybe we see a Volt Switch from this Fortress. Yep, there's the Volt Switch to try to bring in something else. So Raymon's doing a good job of keeping hazards at bay. And we'll see what they want to send out in return. They send in Marks, the Gliscor, get some more recovery. Not sure what this thing has to hit a Corviknight, though. But you have to imagine, when you're dealing with two flying types, oh, there's the Rocky Helmet removal. Goes for another defog. Probably suspecting if the Fortress had Stealth Rocks, maybe this thing had Spikes. So, going to U-turn out now that it doesn't have a Rocky Helmet to contend with. Get some momentum here. Wondering what they're going to bring in. They bring out Twister. As Raymon also wants to go for momentum here. And looks like they're bringing the Salazzle. Ah, very nice play. Once again, our screen has frozen. Bit of buffering there. Just hold on, gang. I'm sure we'll get through this. This is one of the side effects of using our new method of recording here. Because we are... oh, there we go. Finally caught up, it would seem. So, we have Salazzle. Nice shiny Salazzle there. And, Raymon catches all their Pokemon on their own. So, this was a legit shiny Salazzle. Got to commend him for that. So, it's up a substitute versus a Stealth Rocks from the Fortress. So, Rocks have gone up. But this substitute Salazzle is quite the threat. So, they're going to go for the Flamethrower here. Bring them down to their Sturdy on the Fortress as they go for the Volt Switch. Is that going to break the substitute? Does not appear to do so. They had Hyper Voice on Zoroark, I'm sure, but that thing is gone now, so they can't use that. But the good thing about Salazzle here, or the good thing about Gliscor versus Salazzle is they cannot poison them with Corrosion. Well, they're already poisoned, so there's no point. They're getting healing from it. It's helping them out, so. This Gliscor should be able to 1v1 this Salazzle. We'll see. Raymon's probably not going to want to risk it here. Although, ooh, they do have... They are faster, so they do have Substitute and Disable and such. So, all in order to try to prevent the Gliscor from 1v1ing. They're going to U-turn out into Spinny. It's not the Fortress. It's actually the Sneasler. So, okay, they can go for a Toxic Corrosion here. As Sneasler is indeed now poisoned. And we can see that they're going to go for the Dire Claw there. I don't think that they've officially revealed Disable yet, but DaBest might be trying to scout for it. Just trying to make sure that they can hit this thing super effectively. So, they're going to go for the Disable. We'll see if DaBest wants to switch things up here. So, they can't go for Dire Claw anymore. What are they going to go for? They go for the Rock Slide. Great play on DaBest's part. I'm not sure if they read that, if they saw that coming or not. I can't remember if Raymon's used this set before. It's been a while since we've seen these matches, but great play on DaBest's part to try to maneuver around that. So, they send in 3 Amigos, however, and you take some nice Stealth Rock ships set up by the Fortress. If I'm not mistaken, is this a speed tie? I think Sneasler also has base 120 speed. They're going to go for the Earthquake and take out the Sneasler, unfortunately. Let me just make sure. I'm pretty sure it's a speed tie, right? It's base... Yeah, I have that right. Because it's base 130 attack, base 120 speed, so... They're going to get the Imposter going. And, go for Protect. Now, I believe this was also kind of a conundrum here. We were trying to figure out if Arena trapped Arena trap. Because we know that Shadow Tag will trap other Shadow Tag users Well, no, it used to, but then they changed it because Wobbuffet Fett would be trapped in an endless battle. As they go for the Sucker Punch there, as their show is going to go for the Earthquake and take it out. Let me see. They're going to try to send in maybe an Azumarill, try to get a Belly Drum off. As they actually just go for the Aqua Jet. Good play to try to stop them from actually trying to get their Belly Drum off. They are going to switch on Fortress, sack it off here. As Twister goes down. As, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think the thing we landed on was that this thing does still trap other Arena Trap users. So I believe he was stuck there, if I'm not mistaken. But they're going to go for the player off and miss Duracell. Quite unfortunate there, as they did get the miss. Sends out Gliscor instead, who is now going to probably try to Belly Drum up on this thing. Although it seems like they're going to lock it into Encore, actually. Encore has been a great move in draft so far. So now this Gliscor is locked in. Is this the best last Pokemon? It is. So we're going to see the Belly Drum here. They did knock off their Citrus, so they're very low. But it's a little bit too late for Gliscor here, as now the Aqua Jet is going to come off. And it's easily going to take out that Gliscor. Great game by both players trying to outplay each other with their own strats. As now, we are here for Brandon versus Pokemaster. Now, Brandon, this is their first time uploading a Pokemon battle, so we're having to go with a little bit of a Joy Fontaine setup here, but we can at least see what's going on. We have a record of what happened. For the rest of Brandon's matches, they will be probably recorded with a capture card, so we'll have much better footage of what happens. We do see the Focus Ash or Shifu. It's not going to lead off here in this case. They're going to lead off with Cinderace. They also have a Leftovers Crest. Pokemaster's team, sorry, didn't have enough time to kind of really find out what they had, but they're going to lead off with Espeon. And Pokemaster's looking to try to get some more dubs here. They haven't been doing nearly as well in this season, but they're trying to at least even out their record here, as they're going to go for a Terra Blast Rock right off the bat onto Garf set, actually, so it is easily going to outspeed the Cinderace and just take out immediately. Didn't even get to go for a Pyro Ball, so Brandon's probably reeling from that there, wondering what happened and what they're going to do now as they send out Bisharp. They know this thing is Scarf at this point, so they can simply go for a safe Swords Dance on a potential switch out. Yep, does withdraw the Espeon. What are they going to send in? They send in Iron Treads, so pretty good switch into this Bisharp. Gets its booster energy speed boost. We do have the Eviolite on the Bisharp, so it should be able to take at least one Earthquake from Iron Treads. I'm not sure about two, though. See if they want to maybe go for a Sucker Punch and try to 2-KO this Iron Treads. Iron Treads has a decent amount of defense, at least. Not nearly as high as Great Tusk, obviously, but enough to take some hits. So, yep, we do see, alright, we got Chandelure, and that's all that my memory can conjure of what that had. Actually, reveals Terra Blast Water here, and it's going to go for these substitutes. So, no longer super effective Earthquakes coming out here. We'll see if he can live one Earthquake. Goes for the Iron Defense, actually. Some fire coming out from Pokemaster, as this thing is now going to be able to take hits much easier. Goes for the Earthquake. Is it going to take it out? Yep, does at least 25%. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure the Earthquake would have done more than 50% to Bisharp, even with the Violite. So you can imagine that an Earthquake would do at least 25%, surely. They are +4 now, however, they can't Sucker Punch them because of the Iron Defense. So, they go for the Iron Head. It does absolutely nothing. This Iron Treads is walling this Bisharp, and Brandon probably sees the writing on the wall that this is not going to work out in their favor. But they still go for it anyways. They're not going to want to go off. They don't want to lose their gains. They're going to try to outplay them. They're going to go for the Sucker Punch and lose that 50-50. The Sucker Punch would do quite a bit more because it's not resisted, but they're not going to get those plays right. Sends out the Noivern to take the Earthquake, because you can imagine Iron Defense, Earthquake, wondering what else they have here. They don't have Flamethrower. I'm surprised we don't see a Flamethrower, but because that booster energy speed boost, they do have Ice Spinner, which is going to take out the Noivern as well. Pokemaster has techs upon techs. Ice Spinner, great move to have on this Iron Shreds here. As now Brandon is once again wondering what they're going to do. They do have an Urshifu. I'd probably say at this point Urshifu is their best option. They can't kill it. The Surging Strikes will go through, as they're wondering what they're going to do here. Seems like they want to maybe preserve the Focus Sash on the Urshifu, but I think that we're long past that. I think you're just going to have to do it. If they wanted to, they could try to get a Trailblaze into a Surgeon Strikes, but that's not even going to be enough. They would need 2 Trailblazes. No sense in risking that. Pokemaster actually makes a good play. Switching out saves their Iron Shreds. He's going to go for the Water Absorb. It's not even Drizzle. It is Water Absorb. Good play. You wouldn't want to bring Drizzle necessarily to a fight versus an Urshifu, so they do have a Trailblaze. Get a nice little speed boost, so they will be faster than the Iron Shreds next time. They missed the Hypnosis, actually. Bit unfortunate there, as is Urshifu. One of the big powerhouses would be asleep, but it is now +2. And if I'm not mistaken, its Focus Sash should still be intact as well, so not a bad position here. But the Weezing comes in here is likely Surging not Surging Strikes, is Rocky Helmet if they're bringing it in versus this thing. But they also have, of course, Strange Steam. Brandon, knowing that he has Focus Sash, knows he can live one, but actually goes for the Will-O-Wisp. So yeah, great play on Pokemaster's part. It's now going to go for the Surging Strikes. We'll see if they're Rocky Helmet or not. They are not, so probably Black Sludge. Doesn't do anything to this thing as they are burnt. They're neutral. The Sludge Bomb does quite a bit. Gets it under half. As now he's wondering if he's going to go for more Surging Strikes. If he does, he's going to lose Weezing. Or not lose Weezing. He's going to lose the Urshifu, but at least the Weezing will be fairly chipped. As gets it into the red. Another Sludge Bomb with a crit. We'll take it. That crit didn't matter. As now he's wondering, well, still got my Cress. I'm not sure how good that's going to be, though. They do also have Bisharp, which can Iron Head this. They're really wondering what they're going to do here. We did manage to kind of crop in whenever we should see a screen change in just a second to try to get us a bit better image of what's happening. But over time, unfortunately, the phone did begin to slip and give us less and less footage over time. Oh no, I guess it didn't kick in there. I guess it kicks into the next one. Sorry about that. So Espeon comes in on a Calm Mind here, as they're going to get their big Spadaf and Spadaf boost. Going to go for another one as a trick comes out, tricking Choice Scarf. Yeah. So another Calm Mind, as this Crest is now locked in. Pokemaster has had every single tech to be able to counter Brandon, who has been on quite the win streak, I must say. And Pokemaster was ready for it. He's seen all their tricks, and he knows what to do. So goes for a Side Shock onto Clodsire, immediately takes it. What? I've almost never seen a Clodsire die in one hit, and the Side Shock, great brain from Pokemaster, hitting it on its physical side, to which it does not have nearly as much defense. As now it's Bisharp trying to take on this Sylveon here, not Sylveon, Espeon here. Let's see if it has anything. Goes for the Sucker Punch just quite a bit. Goes for Terra Blast Rock. Has no longer resistance, so it should do at least a decent amount. Unfortunately, it would seem that we do not have... we can't quite tell what HP this Bisharp is at. Quite unfortunate that we don't get to see that. Oh, can we see it a little bit over here now that the screen has shifted a bit? Goes for the Sucker Punch. Look, it's pretty low. It looks like it's at 32 HP. Wow, that Terra Blast Rock did a lot. So, does manage to take out the Weezing as Meowscarada comes in now. Can probably just Sucker Punch, or might just go for an attack here, knowing he can live any hit. Goes out into this thing, goes for the Flower Trick, yep. As Flower Trick will do quite a bit to Cress. This thing is Choice Scarf, or it's Choice Lock now. So, can't really get its proper Calm Mind sweep off here, unfortunately. Goes to the Moonblast. Doesn't do nearly as much as it needs to, because Cress needs to have some attack boost to go off. As the Flower Trick is going to come out and take out the Cress. And that's going to be GG's. Crazy week here. We had a lot of good prep from people like Raymon, DaBest, and Pokemaster, and a little bit of tunnel vision and over prep from folks like emeraldminer. But yeah, that's going to be GG's for week 5 of the Battle Hub Draft League. And we will see you guys next time for week 6. Bye bye.